All right, so um, this last poem, I wrote it, I memorized it, I performed it, and then I lost it. And because I'd only performed it twice at that time, it took a while before I got it back. A friend of mine actually recorded it for me, my last performance of it, and that's how we had to write it once again. Can you hear me? I like the red, it's looking delicious. All right, cool. So this poem is called Cedars of Lebanon. It's a love poem, and there's an expression. I'm carrying a torch for you. You guys will have heard it, which basically means I have feelings for you. Now, so I thought about the expression in a literal way, that if you were going to actually carve out a torch for someone, you'd want to pick the best wood. So what would you pick? What tree would you pick, and how would you go about it? So I was reading the Bible, as one does, and when Solomon was building the temple, he was specifically told to use cedar trees from Lebanon for the inside. They were overlaid with gold, and they were used for all the internal design. So I thought, okay, that's a nice tree, let's go with that. So here it goes. They're looking for us to lead them into love. For the longest time, I carried the biggest torch for you, but you don't hear me. In a treasure trove of cedar groves, there are evergreens that forever grow. Seasons change and it never shows, because these trees, they never stray save upwards, with a bark that is etched from the marks of the stretch of striving to drink from the clouds while feet stay parched in the earth upwards, with needle-like leaves that are striving to teach buildings what it means to scrape the skies upwards, forwards. I hurtled forward towards this forest, having too often been thrown into the throes of reckless abandon, only to find myself trampled under souls and recklessly abandoned, having wearied of being wary of false affection and feigned fealties, of distressing damsels who disdain detection, whilst in reality they came with a charm that is disarming. They taught me that love is a battle, but I resigned my commission from this army. I was looking for better wars for my metaphors, so I put down my pen and my pad and I knocked on forever's door, but I was hurled through. Hurt and riddled with scars, I decided to seek shelter in the cedar's shade until it only hurt a little. And when the memory of present suffering had been reduced to a mere murmur in the chambers of my heart, I pronounced that I would love again. And though I stammered a little, I grabbed both hammer and chisel and set to carving. I took the wood from this tree, I fashioned the good that could be, and I formed a torch from it. I laid it in the palm of my hand and overlaid it with gold. So when I say that I'm carrying a torch for you, understand that I carved it out of the bleeding bosom of a cedar tree of Lebanon. Understand that with more time spent on my hand, it took on features like the fibers of my being, and I hold it out to you in the hopes that I'd recognize you to be a woman taken from the fabric of a dream. And you are. From the way that you walk like there is a dance bound in your frame, to how even music lacks luster when compared to the sound of your name. Your laugh, which is a musician's invention, and your silence, which is a miner's reward. I would that you would use some of the fire in your belly to passionately light it and see that I love you from the deep ends of my heart, where the flavors of my affection are concentrated. Like a deep thought, you leave me both shaken and stirred. See that I would bind myself to you at an altar and proceed to suckle the honey from the moon. Because of time without you, I have surpassed my quota. So I'm leaving nothing in reserve, serving nothing for later. I'm ready to give you every dot and every iota. I would even honor the marks on your celestial body, because I understand that these aren't scars, these are hieroglyphs. Hewn into you, I read them, and as I tune into your rhythm, I become consumed by you, my prism. You add color to the light years of my life. So I'm carrying a torch for you. I ripped it, I carved it, I wrenched it out of the bark of the cedar tree of Lebanon, to light the path to the great trees of Mamre, a place where God comes down, because they're looking for us to lead them into love.